Hi. Hello. Hi. Look at me. I've gone straight onto wait. Music loud. Every time. Every time. Every time. Wait. Is that a normal no. There was singing in that music and that made me feel nervous. I don't like background noise with singing in it. That made me feel nervous. Hi everyone, how you doing? How you doing? Who is here? Who is here? Hello Lankuri. Hello M0. Good evening. Good evening. Hello Astro, just dropping by, but have a nice stream. Thank you for dropping by, Astro. Thank you. Hello Phi. Hello Bobo. Hello. And hello Hunter Extreme. Hello. How are we all doing today? How are we all doing? How are we all doing? But if we read what the paper or not, please. Please. I'm prepared. Wait. Wait, no. Wait, I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared. I'm prepared. Look, I've already got it up. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Hi, Avco. How you doing? How you doing? Oh, you got to sleep. Okay, bye there, Avco. Have a good sleep. Speed run. No, there wasn't any lyrics normally. I've had to change my music supplier because before I was using Lo-Fi Girl, they used to let you stream and then they got rid of all of the They got rid of all of the music and now I can't play it anymore. So I'm like, what do? So now I'm using one of the ones that Twitch recommends, Chill Hop, which is the same vibe, but this had words and it gave me fear. So yeah, not sure how I felt about that. One in the lab. Oh no. Hi lab. That means that we have to do science. So yeah. Or from the YouTube ones. Yeah, I was tempted to. I'm not sure if like playing a live stream in a live stream would be problematic. I think I did do Lo-Fi Girl before, but like like the video compilations that they do. I did that before. I just played like I played a Lo-Fi Girl VOD. But yeah, I don't know. Eh? Uh, wait, that's not speaking, but it's throwing me off. Okay. Oh no, there is. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. We're not listening to this because I will not be able to focus. Maybe this one. There we go. That'll do. Okay. Hopefully this one's instrumental. If it's not, I'm gonna cry. Senpai Gaming has open source for streamers. Oh yes, that'd be helpful. That'd be helpful. Thank you. Yeah, I need to find like a good music source. Although I think on Twitch it's actually fine, but it's like annoying for the VODs. I do have like the splitting thing. I have the splitting thing, but like it's just the fact that I then have to go back in and like delete the whole audio track and just have one instead of the normal ones that's there. I don't know. It's mildly irritating. It adds like not much extra time, but it's enough extra time for it to be inconvenient if you catch my drift. So yeah, I prefer to be able to just upload straight as is, but there's still such a backlog. Although I was actually working on it a bit this week, so check me out. Check me out. Check me out. I'm doing so good. But yeah, today what are we doing today? Today, we are actually going to be reading this paper, I swear. We're actually going to be reading it because yesterday I brought it up and then I just yapped about irrelevant stuff. Today, we're actually going to read it. We're not doing that again because I do actually need to finish this paper by the end of the week. And if I don't finish it today on stream, then I have to finish it off stream. And I feel like that would be sad and it would mean that there is no conclusion. And that would distress me. So I think we should just read it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. It's a shame that Astro will not be here to rate our words per minute, but I think we'll do pretty good. I think we can do it. We can do it. Okay, so paper. This is the paper engaging citizen scientists designing an open research system for collaborative problem exploration. So what we've read so far was their design principles. So the stuff that they're doing to design their system. And basically what they want is like a system that will enable citizen scientists, so, average everyday people who are not not professional scientists, but they want to help out by doing science. They are, the authorship team are trying to find a way to make it so that they can easily suggest research questions. So it's kind of like crowdsourcing problems for scientists, if that makes sense. Because at the minute, citizen science often kind of starts at the point of I just realized I've been putting the date as 2024 and this is actually 2025 paper. That's embarrassing. I think it was 2025 when I originally did it. But yeah, at the minute, citizen science normally starts at the data collection phase. So this is trying to bring in citizen scientists and, you know, the wisdom of the crowd early on in the research question generation as well. So I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a fun idea. And this is just basically designing like a web portal where people can go on and yeah, submit their questions, propose ideas, things that they have observed that they would like to learn more about, and they would like scientists to investigate, potentially with the help of, you know, citizen scientists. So yeah, that's the summary of the paper. That's the summary of the paper. Thank you for the lab safety register check-in, Duke Duckman. Welcome in. I hope you're good. I hope you're good. We're doing science today. We're actually doing the science. Okay, so that's a very brief overview of the stuff that we read the first time. Yeah, where did we get to? I think the point that we got to is the point where it actually starts to get interesting. Yes, okay. So. Where were we? Yes, so this part here, this was all, basically they were setting their design requirements for the system. So this web portal that they're developing where people can submit their questions, they were kind of working out what do people actually need from it? What do the people using it need? But then also what do the scientists need? And their design requirements that they came up with were: 1, the system should enable the involvement of citizens to jointly explore the problem space of research projects together with the researchers. 2, the system should enable researchers to identify the most relevant classes of problems in the problem space for a project. So basically people can, you know, submit their ideas, and then the scientists, the researchers who do it professionally can come in and work out which ones are the most pressing. Yes. And I guess also the most, you know, doable in terms of researching them. I don't know. Design requirement 3 was that the system should request structured and complete research problem specifications, ensuring high quality data. Number 4, it should support citizens with no research background and knowledge in capturing new research problem descriptions. So there's no barrier to entry, basically. Number 5, it should ensure data and processing transparency because they want it to be an open system. Number 6, the system should engage citizens in discussing research problem descriptions with others who have similar challenges or experiences. So I guess letting people talk to each other. You know, working out amongst themselves whether this is an actual problem that everybody needs to try and work out, or if it's just a quirk of being them, I guess. Number 7, the system should provide multiple ways to create research problem description submissions. And number 8, it should provide choices when asking for details on research problem description. And then number 9, the system should describe the entire research process and how citizens can contribute to the process by providing research problem descriptions. Yeah, so basically it's like going all the way through. It's making sure that people can come in and submit their ideas. But on top of that, people can the researchers can easily work out what's going on and what the submissions mean. Yes. That is a very brief summary of what was read last time that I actually read this, which I worked out was like sometime in February. It might have been a whole month. I don't even know anymore. I've lost all sense of time. But yeah, that's the brief of what this paper is about. And they're thinking that it's a platform for, you know, science, but it's also for innovation in terms of like, you know, companies could come in and identify problems that their products could potentially solve. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody, I guess. That's the thinking. But yeah, so with all that being said, that's a very, very brief, summary. I've not even yapped today. I am locked in. Everyone's gonna be regretting this decision. Like you will let me yap too much yesterday, and now I'm just locked in, and I'm just not gonna be saying anything of substance. Hello, how's mod? Hello. Okay, right. I'm gonna drink some water. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I'm gonna drink some water, and then I'm gonna start reading. I guess this is probably going to be more of a background noise kind of stream. I'm not going to lie. I am actually just going to be going through this paper. I mean, if it's interesting to you, then let's read it together, please. Please. Yeah, if you have any questions, just put them in chat because I might be thinking the same thing. Hi, Jedi Cyberpunk. How you doing? How you doing? Yap away. I am trying not to actually because I do actually have a deadline for reading this. Yes. Our Hosmod. Yes, yes. Okay. So, wait, I'm gonna have some tea. My throat's been kind of bad today also, which is not fun. You know when you have that like horrible feeling where you might be getting a little bit sick, but not really sick enough to like be sick? I don't know if that makes sense. Like a cold. My throat feels like I've got a cold brewing and I don't like it. Okay. So, design principles and design features. Based on the identified design requirements, we derive an initial set of design principles to specify the design knowledge in an accessible form. Okay, my only thing with this paper is that they just say so many things like design principles, design requirements, design features, design whatever, and I'm like, okay, I'm losing the plot a bit. That's nothing to do with them though. I think that might just be a field thing. It might just be because I don't know this field. Additionally, our proposed design principles are informed by the concepts of autonomy and relatedness provided by the, oh gosh, what was it? Social determination theory. The first design principle is derived from Design Requirement 1, 5, and 6, and describes citizens' ability to browse research problems that have already been submitted and their descriptions. Furthermore, based on the concept of relatedness, citizens should be able to extend existing research problem descriptions with their experiences or opinions. Let me move this up a bit, just a little bit. There we go. Based on DR2, 3, and 7 and 8, the second design principle describes the ability to select important and relevant problems. Citizens should be able to rate important and well-described research problems that other citizen scientists have submitted. Based on the concept of autonomy, different forms of contributing, such as reporting a full problem description, commenting on existing descriptions, or rating the importance, allow citizens to collaborate on different levels during the problem exploration phase. Why does this low-key kind of sound like Reddit? But for... It sounds like citizen science Reddit, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. The third design principle, derived from DR3, 4, 5, 8, and 9, describes guidance abilities. Citizens can have different knowledge levels and experiences in scientific research. Therefore, the system should support citizens in creating new problem descriptions to guarantee that the descriptions fulfill a certain level of quality. An overview of the initial design principles and the related design requirements are summarized in Table 1. I was literally going to say they should check out Reddit for real. I know, right? It sounds like Reddit. Like the voting, the commenting, finding people. This is Reddit. It's just Reddit. It's going to be interesting to see what it looks like because I haven't actually looked at that yet. Like I think there's a mock-up somewhere later in the paper, but I didn't look at it. I just kind of like processed that it was there. So it's going to be interesting to see whether it's anything like it. In the next step, we derive a preliminary set of design features and map them onto the design principles. I don't know what all of these things mean. Design features are a specific way to implement design principles and describe the technical implementation of an abstract design principle. Okay. So, wait, so the requirements are specific, and then the principles are broad, and then the features are specific again, I think. I don't know. Secretly, one person is just browsing Reddit and the rest of the authors don't know and they're sweating. Can you imagine? That would... I'm... Okay, no, I kind of want to see. Let's go. Let's have a quick spoiler. No, it doesn't look like Reddit. Okay, but it does look like Facebook. I'm not gonna lie. Well, actually, no. The chat is very Facebook. The chat is very Facebook. The icons are also very Facebook, but yeah, it does. Okay, interesting. It looks like a comment section. Yeah, it's just kind of a standard comment section. Okay. In the next step, we derive a I hate this word. Preliminary set of design features and map them onto the design principle. Design features are a specific way to implement design principles and describe the technical implementation of an abstract design principle. Table 2 summarizes them. Where is table 2? Here it is. So the design principles are 1, exposure. The system provides yeah, okay, they've said that. I think they've said all of this in the text. Psydere knows what Facebook looks like, something Hagdere. You know, I can tell you, to be honest, the only reason why I know what Facebook looks like, I am Facebookless, okay? I am Facebookless. But I had to manage a Facebook account for something for a little while, and I hated it. I hated it. Yeah. Wasn't a fan. I've been on Facebook since 2016. I think that's about when I gave up on it as well. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. The whole platform is sus. I don't trust it. It just feels like it's like, I don't know. I don't know. It was weird. Not a fan. I only ever got Facebook for free stuff. I never even got it for that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the early adopters of like Facebook and Twitter. I was on I was on Twitter in like 2008 or 2009. It was terrible. It was not good. And I think I had Facebook around the same time as well. So not like massively early for Facebook, but pretty early for Twitter. And I've been terminally online ever since, so I think I'm evidence of why you should never do that. The only thing that I've seen keeping it alive seems Pixel. Yeah, honestly. I think that the main thing keeping Facebook alive, honestly, is that like they force integrate it into other stuff. So like, for example, if you've got like a business Instagram account or a creator Instagram account, then you have to have a Facebook account in order to manage it through the business suite with like proper business features. It's very, very annoying. Very annoying. Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah. Oh well, it's fine. Severely force integrated in business and advertising, and the data we get is troubling. I know. Even I get freaked out by the data that I get, even from yeah, from the back end of even just the Psydere Instagram account. I'm like, woohoo, that's too much information. I don't want to see that. Okay. When it's giving me like breakdowns of demographics and stuff, and I'm like, there's literally 100 people viewing my post. This seems so wrong, but anyway, it's fine. Who am I to judge big tech and their business practices, you know? I'm just a lowly little researcher. I could just buy whole swathes of information by whatever demographic or locations I know, right? And the targeted advertising is wild. Like, I kind of respect the grind in some ways, but also like, yikes. It's basically describing a website for crowdsourcing ideas for research topics. Yeah, exactly. That's what the paper's doing. Yeah. So it's just going all the way through from just thinking up ideas for research questions to submitting them and then people voting on them and commenting on them and researchers coming in and finding ways to filter them and stuff like that. It's very cool. I uploaded a picture of my cat to Reddit and over 10,000 people saw her. My eyes opened. That is terrifying. Yeah, you're like a mini internet celebrity. How does it feel to have your cat be a niche internet micro celebrity? Also, hello, Yanis Phoenix and that red panda. Welcome in. I hope you're both good. It's like she deserves it. So true. Every cat deserves it. Yeah, you're blessed to know your cat. That's very true. This is very true. I think My claim to fame on Reddit so far has been I think I got like 700 upvotes on something on r/virtual YouTubers. That's my claim to fame. Otherwise, I don't really understand Reddit and I'm not sure I want to. I live in fear of it. She is an absolute angel who's never done anything wrong in her 3 years of life. I can't tell if that's sarcastic. I'm reading that as sarcastic, but that might just be my British coding. I can't say anything or read anything without my brain automatically processing it as sarcastic. It's terrible. I stay in my very curated section of Reddit and don't poke out of it. That's the smart thing to do. Unfortunately, they've done this thing where they've like started forcing stuff from other random subreddits onto your feed now. It's a bit annoying. Not a fan, to be honest. Yeah, my claim to fame is that on r/virtual YouTubers, one of my posts got 706 upvotes. That's the most exciting that my life has ever been, to be honest, was when that got that many upvotes. And then another one from like exactly a year ago apparently, got 420 upvotes. So nobody changed that. That'd be sad. Oh dear. Josa side, she's an absolute sweetheart most of the time. That's good. She's very, very cute. Very, very cute. We love cats. You can shut that bit down, but it takes a bit. Please teach me how, because I'm sick of seeing random things just like crop up that I didn't agree to. Like, I don't know. It's very weird. It's very weird. Okay, yeah. Literally, like the third post on there is something from r/Crunchyroll. Because you've shown interest in a similar community. I'm not interested in r/Crunchyroll. Don't put that on my feed. At least it's something kind of, you know, benign. But yes, we love randomly generated strings. Very good. Hi, Alex. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome in. I hope you're good. How are you doing? It is definitely like cat typing. You're right. You're right. Okay. Paper. I look into it and post stuff because I got jump scared with some wild stuff. You like science, so here is your absolute nightmare fuel. Yeah, that sounds about right. I saw a very distressing post. It was like the third one again when I opened it up earlier, and it was like an avocado, but the seed was all weird. It was very distressing. I think the seed was literally just sprouting, but yeah, it was kind of cursed. Gonna like we're doing geography homework, otherwise doing great. I hope your homework goes well. You can do it. We're cheering you on. We're cheering you on. Thank you for lurking. Okay. Design features. They've got their design features. It's kind of just replicating what they've said in the text, to be honest, I think. But what they are saying is that the platform needs to, what does it need to do? What does it need to do? It needs to let people submit and browse and prioritize the problems, templates for describing problems to make it a bit easier for them. It can be accessed from any device containing a web browser. Authentication and non-anonymous sharing of content is required. Interesting. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. For moderation purposes. It should enable commenting existing research problem descriptions to allow for an exchanging additional ideas and thoughts and experiences. Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's just repeating stuff that they've said in the text. Okay, perfect. Right. How are they implementing it? This is the part that I find interesting, okay? This is the part that I think is cool. So, in the implementation phase, in the implementation phase, we instantiated the previously derived design features in the form of a prototype of the system called My Research Challenge. My Research Challenge is a web application built using Python on top of a web framework Django. The data is stored in a central MySQL database. Very cool. Very cool. Leveraging state-of-the-art web technologies and leveraging my brain is failing me. Leveraging state-of-the-art web technologies enables citizens to access the application via any device containing a web browser. Researchers can describe the boundaries of the problem space by providing a title, brief description, time frame for artist. Oh, what's going on? Why can't I speak today? Okay, timeline, time frame. Come on, we can do it. We can do it. I'm gonna drink my tea and then we're gonna do it. Thank you for the hydrate guns. Also, hi, I hope you're doing well. Today, just today, so true, so true. I am struggling. I'm perpetually struggling. I feel like Wednesday. Is today Wednesday? It's Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday. I feel like Wednesday is my worst day to stream because it's like the day that I'm most brain drained, but also the day that I am there was a thought, but my headphones just disconnected. What? Hello? What is going on? Why? Okay, I need to reset them. Please bear with me. Everything is stopping me. I think it's that silly accent of yours. I hope you get better soon. Thank you. I'm doing my best. Can you hear my headphones? I don't know if you can. I hope you can't. They're Sony ones, so it's got that woman who's like, Bluetooth connected. And I'm like, okay. Did I ask? Is it working? I actually can't tell. Where's my music? What, what is happening? I didn't ask for this. Everything's breaking. Why? I offered to buy a wild ones, I swear. You actually did, and I should have taken you up on that offer. I'm annoyed at myself. Okay, it's working. I think my headphones disconnecting also paused the music. That seems like a design fail. Well, I guess it's actually quite useful for normal people, but not for a streamer. It is Wednesday, my cubes. True. How does that meme even go? I can't even remember it. I've not heard it in so long. It is Wednesday, my cubes. Doesn't it make a weird noise afterwards? Like, yeah! Something like that. I can't even remember. Okay, shall we do science again now? Okay, I wasn't making up the weird roaring. Okay, good. I thought I was making that up for a second. Okay, I'm not losing my my marbles. We should play marbles on stream sometime. I like marbles. Okay. Right. Anyway, science. Am I right? Okay. Implementation. Right. What is normal roaring? I don't even know. I don't even know. Probably the sub sound. The cursed adder adder. That's like the closest to normal roaring that you'll ever get out of me. Okay. Leveraging state-of-the-art web technologies enables citizens to access the application via any device containing a web browser. Researchers can describe the boundaries of the problem space by providing a title, a brief description, a time frame of participation, for example, a particular month, and an illustrative image. Wow. Citizens can explore existing research problem descriptions or capture new ones. Throughout the research problem exploration, citizens can vote for research problem descriptions they perceive as important and relevant to further scientific investigations. To capture new research problem descriptions, citizens must register with a dedicated user. Okay. So anybody can vote, but in order to submit your own stuff, you need to register. During the submission process, users can decide to publish the description anonymously or by providing a nickname. To submit new problem descriptions, a simple conversation agent. Oh, there's a missing bracket there. Oh, I found a copy editing error. That's exciting. A simple conversation agent guides users through the description and submission process. Existing research has shown that conversation agents can be used as facilitators to promote data exploration, and lower barriers to citizen engagement in research projects and documentation of citizens' content generation. Cool. I'm just thinking, I'm going to highlight this stuff. I'm going to highlight all that. That seems useful. I guess I'll also highlight this bit. That's also kind of useful, I guess. Okay. The integrated conversation agent is implemented using Rasa, an open source chatbot framework, providing features for interaction with databases, application programming interfaces, conversational flow, and interactive learning with reinforcement neural networks. Ooh, exciting. In the conversation with the users, the agent asks questions regarding the concepts, needs, goals, requirement, and stakeholders described in the problem space model provided by Medsha et al. The 4 concepts also serve as a template to capture and structure new problem descriptions. After submitting a new problem, the description is stored in the central database and is publicly available for other citizens to explore and vote. Supporting the psychological need for relatedness, citizens can browse and extend the existing research problems descriptions by providing additional inputs. This allows citizens to interact with other facing similar problems. No, it doesn't. This allows citizens to interact with others facing similar problems and enables sharing of thoughts or experiences on the research problems. The system offers different contribution levels in the research problem exploration phase to fulfill the need for autonomy. Citizens can contribute by providing a comprehensive description or extending an existing research problem description. Also, the conversation agent provides features to submit only a short description or to describe additional details regarding the problem. To increase the transparency of the research process and to shed light on what will happen with the submitted research problem descriptions, we added a new section on the landing page explaining the different phases of the research project and provided a timeline for each activity. Figure 2 illustrates the derived design features and their implementation in the web application My Research Challenge from both design cycles. Okay, so this is the figure 2. So it shows you where each of the design features are. Cool. So yeah, there's a description of what's happening. There is the template thingy that they said about. This is the chatbot. No, that's the comments. So that's the chatbot. And then that's the different challenges that you can scroll through and have a look at. Okay, cool. That makes sense. This reads like it's just documenting the architecture / UI of this website and focus group testing it. If I'd have known, I could just publish papers on here's how I made this website. Yeah, it actually kind of is, isn't it? That is basically just what this is. I guess because it's specifically about citizen science, that's why it's been published. But I don't know. I think having a paper like documenting how this platform is built is actually probably quite helpful in a lot of ways because like you can kind of see the thinking behind it. I like it. I want more like this. I want people to start submitting preprints about the design process behind their fan website. I want that. A fan site's still a thing. I think they are, but not very much anymore. The more you read it, the more it sounds like scientific Reddit. It really does, doesn't it? It really, really does. It's like the core concept of Reddit, but science. And then on top of that, like weird random Facebook features. It's kind of fun though. It's kind of fun. Okay, what were the important bits of what we just read there? I would say, I don't really need to know. Actually, I guess this is kind of helpful. That's helpful. That's also helpful. Don't care about storing it in the database. That goes without saying to me personally. Browse and yeah, okay. Cool, this bit. And then maybe here, this part 2, I guess. Actually, not really. Yeah, we'll have this part. And then I want to have a picture of the you can do like screenshots basically out of papers on Zotero. I don't know if you knew that. There's like a whole bunch of tools along the top. There is highlight text, underline text, note annotation, add your own text, select area, and draw. And yeah, this is the select area. And basically when you right click and export into an annotation, then it will turn it into a screenshot. So yeah, and there's your fun little Zotero fact for the day, I guess. Hi Ryodai, how you doing? Are we actually finishing it today? I mean, I'm making good progress so far, so maybe actually. We've just finished a whole section and it's only taken 45 minutes. So that's actually very, very good for my pace. I'm trying. I'm determined. Okay. Right. Evaluation. Let's go. Okay. Evaluation. In the evaluation phase of the second cycle, we evaluated our proposed design in an online experiment with 2 field studies. The aim of the online experiment was to evaluate the internal validity of the artifact. What's the artifact? Is that like the mock-up of the website? I assume so. In a controlled setting, we analysed the effectiveness of the proposed design principles, supporting the concepts of relatedness and autonomy derived from social determination theory. Self-determination theory, that's the one, yes. In the field studies, we evaluated the system and its external validity in a real-world scenario, with citizens participating voluntarily in the study. In both settings, the focus of the evaluation was on the system interaction and the effectiveness of the artifact rather than the content provided by the citizens. In the online experiment, we used the topic home office, and in the field study, we used the topics home office and sustainability as the problem spaces to be explored. We invited citizens to interact with the system and submit their problems and challenges regarding the topics. Okay, cool. Okay. There's not much to say about that, I think. I guess this part. And then I don't really need that. I guess that one, actually. Yeah, these two. These bits. I don't really care much about the topic. Okay, cool. That makes sense. So we did three rounds of data collection. This is very fun. It is kind of like it's like documenting the architecture and UI, but it's also got added like user research in it too, which is pretty cool. I like that. Glad I came to listen to your voice reading papers. Best way to feel relaxed. Also, hi, say hi, Runic. How you doing? I hope you're good. This is certainly one to just like switch your brain off to if you're not interested in developing web platforms. Apparently, this is just this is one of those things. I'll use this as motivation to get my peer review done of this manuscript. Shall I become the dreaded reviewer too? You can do it. Please don't be reviewer too though. But you can do it. You can review that manuscript. I believe in you. You can do it. I always end up putting them off to the last minute though, because I forget. You can do it though. You can do it. I wanted to say at some point, but let's say I don't want to try coding anymore. Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I enjoy the user research side of this. I find the web development and architecture and stuff interesting, but I wouldn't want to do it as a job. It seems like it's quite tedious as a job, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. But hey, if they got, paid for like a year out of a grant to do this, hopefully, then that's pretty good. I'm sorry. Insert I don't want to be an engineer joke here. I took a course for game development. Maybe one day I'll get to use it. Yeah, I mean, I think you can use stuff like that in ways that you're not expecting, right? I wanted to like when I was younger, I wanted to be a web developer initially. This was like way back in the day though, like before anything fancy. Like I'm talking in the days of like when like PHP was cool. PHP was never cool. But like when that was a Freudian slip. When PHP was like the thing that all of the fancy websites were using. That that's how long ago I wanted to be a web developer, and then I did do some websites myself, and then I was like, meh. But I still use the skills from it because like if I need to make up, say for example, if I'm doing a study where I need to like make experimental materials, let's say hypothetically I'm researching misinformation and I want to make some fake tweets so that I can create stimuli, which includes misinformation, but it's like controlled misinformation. So it's not on a dangerous topic, it's just like silly misinformation. And then I can compare it with like non-misinformation on the same topics, right? If I'm doing that as an experiment, it's really, really helpful to know how to modify like HTML templates or whatever. Yeah, stuff, or like using the developer tools in the browser. Like if you have a little bit of experience, you never know where it might be useful, basically. I think a lot of skills, topics, and courses you don't expect to help with being a scientist. I took a lot of higher level art and photography courses, and that's helped a ton with my research career. I was not expecting that one, right? It's so random, right? I did like art in like I guess at the US equivalent of like AP level, and I also took like what was I can't remember the exact name of the course, but it was like about the um it was kind of philosophy of religion, I guess, but it was a bit of philosophy of religion and a bit of like theology, but it was focused on like Indian subcontinent religions, so it was mostly Hinduism and Buddhism. And like I was really surprised at how useful both of those things were when I was doing my PhD, because like having an understanding of like first of all, making participant recruitment materials when you have any kind of basic background in art is so much easier. Like a few of my like friends were being like, please help, I need to make a poster, it's ugly, I don't know what I'm doing, I can tell it's ugly but I can't tell what I'm doing wrong. And I'd be like, oh, you need to like up the contrast here and, you know, make the color palette a bit more cohesive by doing this. And then they'd be like, it looks so much better, thank you, how did you know? And I'm just like, composition and color theory, baby. We watched a presentation on neuroresearch they're doing on training radiologists to identify anomalies in x-rays, and surprisingly the art training helps you to quickly identify a ton of those. They didn't think about that when they designed the stimuli for the experiment. That's so funny. That's so interesting. Yeah, so were they like I mean, I don't know if you even know this. You might know this, but like, will they manipulate like photo editing things to make it more obvious, or to like add in artificial anomalies, or they used a bunch of Photoshop tools to create challenging anomalies. I see. So I was gonna say, because if it's Photoshop, then like if you know how to use Photoshop, then you know how to spot Photoshop. Because like the patterns of distortion around certain tools are so like distinctive. I can always spot it. I can always spot it. It's like it's like how if you've got any kind of art training, it's probably a lot easier to spot AI art because you can see where like patterns are weird, or like where anatomy is weird in a way that, you know, the average person might not. Yeah. This is the thing, right? This is the thing. See, genuinely, random things like that are super helpful. I also did like a very, very basic level, like introduction to video games creation course. I mean, super basic. It was in, I want to say it was in Unity. It was like create a donut and then make it like move along with your cursor or something level of really not complicated. But then I feel like I have a use for that that's going to be quite fun now. So yeah. I was cracking up. They all thought it was lying when I said I identified the anomaly, and then I explained the Photoshop tools to them. Yeah, right. And if you've never done stuff like that, it's not even something that you would think about either. Like they probably didn't even question it. Like, yeah, no, like, you know, it's a Photoshop tool, we do the thing. But I don't know. That's quite funny. That's quite funny. It's been clear you've been relying on your Band-Aid tool a bit too much. Oh no. That's so funny. That's actually so funny. Oh, I've never had a moment like that. I wish I had. Actually, no, I think maybe I did actually. No, I did. I did. There was a time where I was at a conference and I was at a talk about conspiracy theory beliefs. This is kind of similar, I guess, kind of similar. And like they showed like a meme, and like because I'm terminally online, I guess this is this is my special skill apparently. I was like, oh, I know that meme. It's ironic. Why are you even showing it? And they were like, huh? What do you mean it's ironic? And I was like, people share memes ironically. Like, it's not serious. And I know the page that this one comes from, and it is an ironic meme page. And they were like, I see. That was quite satisfying. That was like the only time being terminally online has ever been helpful. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, I need to I'm gonna drink some tea. Hang on. She's irony poisoned? So true. So true, actually. Irony poisoned or irony pilled? Who knows? Actually, I don't even know, to be honest. The ones with colour, this is relevant. Have you ever wondered if the research stimuli used in experiments have been tested in consideration of colour blindness, or if they control for if people are colourblind in the conducting of certain experiments? I see that as a common oversight in my training. I have indeed brought that up, actually. I've brought that up once. And yeah, most people don't think about it. Also, like, assuming that everybody can read in the same way. That's another big one. Like, using... Even I've, like, had situations, like, where I'm, like, you know, involved in, like, article manipulations or something like that, or vignette manipulations, and I'm like, I'm doing this because it's standard practice, but I'm trying to think of a way to make it as accessible as possible. And sometimes it just isn't. Thank you for the resub, Cezek. Thank you so much. Like, oh, sub even, but not resub. Thank you for the sub, Cezek. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome in. You've just started your research assistant contract. How does it feel? How does it feel to be paying to do the research? It's just like real academia. Excellent. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Add a bunch of control variables for that in my study for language usage and comprehension. See, that's big brain. That's big brain. I did not do that because yeah, I didn't have the funding to do it. The threatening smug emoji. I feel like this emoji conveys so many emotions. It's like mildly threatening, and it's also like, I don't know, it feels like it perceives me, you know? And I don't even understand, because like, wait. I can't even perfectly replicate it. It's like, it's not exactly the same. Something changed, and I don't know what. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Welcome to Postback RA. So true. So true. I wish I had this smugness IRL. I definitely do not have this smugness IRL. I'm actually a very not smug person. I actually look either distressed or awkward all the time. You finished your thesis? That's changed. That's true, actually. Also, the model, to be fair. This is not the same model anymore. I changed it a lot. Yeah. I have this smugness when imagining how I'd say things when the time comes I cannot effectively employ it. That's so true. That's so true. I'm the other way around though, because I'm very slow to process things. So I go away and then 3 days later, I'll just suddenly like wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh, I should have said this. I'm too slow. I'm too slow to process. Okay. Right, where do we get to? Online experiment. Let's read about that online experiment. Let's do it. Okay. The experiment was designed to include a treatment group and a baseline group. Online experiments are a powerful method to involve a large audience with high internal validity. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I see someone like justifying why they've done something like this, I know you're meant to do it, but it always feels like really awkward and out of place. I don't know why this is a thing. Because like, if you're in the field, you've read so many of the same thing. I don't know, it just always felt weird to me. Hi, Woodsticks, how are you doing? Good evening to you too. How are you doing? I hope you're good. Okay. So, in reference to Gregor and Jones, we expressed testable propositions based on our design and tested them in an online experiment. The experiment aimed to evaluate the modified and implemented design principles and to test the propositions derived from the design principles. First, we wanted to know if the principle of exposure leads to more relatedness than the baseline. Second, if the principle of participation leads to more autonomy in the problem exploration phase than the baseline. Okay. The treatment group interacted with the implemented artifact based on the proposed design to submit challenges or extend existing challenge descriptions, as illustrated in Figure 2. The baseline group interacted with the same system without the design features implemented in the principle of exposure and participation. A screenshot of the baseline system is illustrated in Figure 3. Where's Figure 3? Oh, it's in the appendix. It won't. I don't think it'll be. No, it's not here. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I don't need your appendix. Literally unnecessary organ. A priori power analysis using G-Power software with a medium effect size of 0.5. Okay, interesting. Resulted in 80 participants for the experiment. Similar to that's okay. I'm sus of that. That's a very low. That's low. That's a low. Yeah. That's a low sample size. But, you know, if they say they need 80, okay, you do you. Similar to the evaluation in the first cycle, the online experiment. I mean, it's a pilot test, actually, to be fair, so that's fine. Similar to the evaluation in the first cycle, the online experiment aims to evaluate the system in a controlled environment. Therefore, we decided to invite citizens in the form of students from our university panel. Nothing like a good student sample. We love that. To be fair, actually, students would probably be very likely to be involved in a system like this. So that's not too wacky. To discover and explore real-world problems regarding home office and homeschooling, we invited 90 participants from the university's panel and asked them to submit and discuss their challenges experienced during home office. On average, it took the participants 19 minutes and 31 seconds to complete the study. We paid €5 to each participant to trigger basic words. We paid €5 to each participant to trigger basic extrinsic. I've been studying psychology for like a decade and I still cannot say this word. Extrinsic motivation. Oh, I suffer. After cleaning the data, 80 valid data sets? Okay. 80 valid responses remained. The data set included 50 male and 29 female students, woman no answer, and an average age of 24.5 years. We applied a one-way ANOVA to test the treatment and baseline groups. I've forgotten what the treatment and baseline is doing already, actually. The same system without the DFs implementing the exposure. Okay. Which were the design features for P1 and P2? I don't even remember anymore. I'm kind of getting confused by this now, actually. I don't know if that's just me, though. Also, there's going to be an ad in a minute. I apologize. Doing good. Just got done with some D&D. Nice. Nice. I hope you enjoyed your D&D. Hope the session went good. Thank goodness it's not morning. That's such a mood. Such a mood. Went well, no blunders. Nice. So full of ads, yummy. Indeed. If we can't eat microplastics, then we want to eat, like, you know, forced exposure to products that we can purchase, right? Okay, here's the thing. I'm gonna go top up my drink while the ad is playing, okay? Because my throat is getting... I made the mistake of leaving the house this week, so my throat is a bit funky. So I'm going to go and grab some... Also, hi Tayu, sorry. Hi Tayu, how you doing? I'm gonna go grab some drink very quickly, and then I will come back, and hopefully we'll be adless by the time that happens. So I will see you all in a minute. See you in a minute. Hello, I'm back. Where's my music? Oh, it's that. Okay, cool. Hi, I'm back. Also, Cezak, what? Cezak, thank you. Thank you so much for the 3 gifted subs. That's very kind of you, very generous of you. Thank you so much. And I also literally just realized that your sub earlier was also a tier 2 one, which I think is the first time ever. The first ever, like, non-tier 1 sub. That's so exciting. What the heck? Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for the 100 bits, Yanis Phoenix. Have some extrinsic motivation. Incredible, incredible. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. Thank you. Salutations and howdy, you doodle, family alone. What's bussin' with the lot of yuns? I agree. Hello, Monty. Welcome in. I hope you're good. That's exciting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. Okay. I am alive. I'm here. I'm functional. I'm functional to some extent. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think my allergies are acting up really bad. Like I said, I made the mistake of leaving the house. My allergies are acting up really bad. So if I start to sound really, really like clogged up, which I think I am already sounding clogged up, that's why. I apologize. It's just me being allergic to literally everything as always. So yeah. Sorry if I sound a bit nasty. Made steak gnocchi pasta. Turned out excellent. Nice, nice. That sounds pretty good. I don't think I've had gnocchi. Is it pronounced gnocchi or gnocchi? Or gnocchi? Or gnocchi? I don't actually know. I don't know. Whoa, being allergic to existence. Let's go! Genuinely, actually. Genuinely, it's quite wacky. Every like, it's not even consistent. That's the most annoying thing. I can use soap and be fine, and then I can use the same soap 3 weeks later and have a massive allergic reaction to it. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It's gnocchi, okay, or gnocchi, okay. Thank you, Protein Pot. Thank you. Also, welcome in. I hope you're good. Allergies, yeah. Allergies. I've got allergies in it. Terrible. Terrible. Yeah, when I was younger, I went for a phase where I was like developing new allergies to random things every week or so. And then they kind of stopped and I kept some of the allergies and I did not keep some of the other allergies. But I've just got like permanent allergic. I don't even know if it's allergic, actually, to be honest. I assume it's allergic. I don't actually know because I haven't seen a doctor. Every time I've tried to see a doctor, they're like, "Ooh, there's a waiting list," and I'm like, "Okay, can you refer me now so that I'm, you know, at the top of the waiting list in however many long amount of time?" And then they're like, "Yeah, we should do that. Anyway, come back next time and tell us if it's got worse." And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. But yeah, that's why. That's why. It's a phase, Mom. I hope to God it's a phase. This one kind of was a semi-phase, you know. I had a semi-phase. You know, most kids are like, you know, I want to get a, I don't know, I want to get a Sonic the Hedgehog tattoo or something. I was like, I've got allergies. That's my thing. There was a period of time where I was okay, wait, no. Okay, this is gonna get taken out of context. This is gonna get taken out of context. This is, I swear, this is not as bad as it sounds. There was a I'm laughing because this is such a VTuber thing to say. There was a period of time where I was allergic to showering. I wish I was joking. When I was like a teenager, I had a period of time where I was allergic to showering. I couldn't like, I couldn't have like a hot shower or a hot bath because I would just break out in hives and start having an asthma attack. So I had to like exclusively shower in cold water. It wasn't great. Wouldn't recommend. But like it couldn't be too cold either. It had to be like lukewarm. Because if it was too hot, it would give me hives. And if it was too cold, it would give me hives. And if I exercised, it would give me hives. And if I left the house when it was too cold outside, it would give me hives. And I say hives, I would break out in hives and I'd also have an allergic reaction. Yeah. And then I'd be covered in like a horrible rash afterwards for like a week. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. I got banned from doing any kind of PE. They banned me from doing physical exercise because they were like, this is a medical risk. Yeah. That's why I'm so physically inactive now, is because I got into bad habits when I was younger. I put it down to that. Yeah. It was pretty wild, I'm not gonna lie. It's like that Tumblr post. Which one? There's a Tumblr post? Which one? How can you post that? What? Wait, describe the Tumblr post to me. That's some autoimmune kerfuffles right there. It is. It probably. I wouldn't know. I've never actually seen an immunologist, so. I've never actually seen an immunologist. So sad. So sad. Yeah. That was my childhood. Anyway, now that we've unlocked the Psydere was always predestined to be a VTuber because she wasn't allowed to shower lore, should we go back to reading the paper? My friend is functionally allergic to cold, which is basically sub 21 degrees C, and it's really wacky. Honestly, it was the same for me. It wasn't that bad. Like, thankfully, I could function in average British weather, but like in the summer, I had to just... Basically, what I would have to do is to like run a kind of lukewarm bath and then like periodically just like cool myself down. Otherwise, I would just be permanently like having an asthma attack and stuff. It was kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie. It was not great. And it went on for like 4 years as well. And then suddenly I woke up one day and my immune system was like, you are no longer allergic to heat or cold or exercising or stress. Because it was stress would also do it. It also used to happen to me in exams. So they for a little while, they had to, for a few years, they had to like take me out in exams and class tests and stuff and put me in my own room so that if I had an allergic attack, then yeah, they would have people on hand so that I wouldn't die. Yeah. Hi, Sango. How are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome in. I hope you're good. How are you? I keep thinking about that post about that whole genre of movies about a white guy getting into Asian philosophy, martial art, etc., and then proceeding to surpass his teacher and be the best ever at it. And I started thinking about the opposite of it. I want a movie about a Chinese dude who goes to Finland, downs an entire bottle of Kosen Kovra, and then tries to fight a nearby cow and ends up lying face down in a ditch while sobbing about his ex-wife and having 5 Finnish dudes staring at him and all like, that's him, that's the chosen one. Except replace the Finnish stuff with VTuber stuff. It's true. I'm fascinated by your ability to bring out some new mind-boggling lore each stream. This is the thing. I don't even think it's mind-boggling though, right? Because it was just my lived experience. It was being allergic to everything. Like there was literally a running joke in my family that like my immune system functioned for everything except the things it was meant to. Like it would work in reverse because when I got sick, I would get pretty sick, but I would recover quickly, you know? Like I got hospitalized a few times when I was a kid, and like it was always just over really silly things. Like once I ended up in hospital with the flu. Why? No one knows. No one knows. I should probably one day see a doctor about these things. I plan to eventually. But like there was a period of time during my teens where like I never got sick. Not once. No, nothing. Like all of my friends were coming down with like glandular fever and like which I think is like mono in the US. I don't know. Or like, I don't know, like they all got I think someone had meningitis at one point. That wasn't great. And then like obviously like the flu and stuff, and then I would just be fine. But then like God forbid I touch a tomato. Oh no. Terrible. Good taking it easy before we first grad school presentation in a few hours. That's so exciting. You can do it. You're going to do so good, Sango. You're going to do amazing, okay? You're going to do amazing. We're cheering you on. We're cheering you on. You can do it. No shower before exams. It's like that rumored tradition Asian students have. What? What? Is that a thing? I didn't know that that's a thing. I don't know the rumors. This was quite bad though. Like the exams themselves would do it, so it wouldn't matter if I had I tried this once, right? Because I was annoyed at this, so I used to experiment with it, right? So this one time I had an exam in the afternoon, so I was like, if I have a shower in the morning, then maybe my immune system has already been triggered, so it won't do it again, right? And it would take about 6 hours to calm down. So I was like, if I wake up at 6 a.m. and have a shower and forcibly break myself out into hives, then by the time that it gets to my exam at 1 p.m., I won't have any hives. The hives will have gone down, the asthma will have stopped, and I won't have another one. And then I did that. I woke up early, had my hot shower, broke out into hives, had an asthma attack. It was pretty bad. You know, calmed down by the time that I got to school at midday. Went into the exam, sat down, 20 minutes in, I'm broken out in hives again. So it didn't work. It was worth a try though, wasn't it? I'm the opposite. I rarely get badly sick, but it always takes forever to get better. That's so, yeah, it's interesting how people's immune systems differ like that, right? Yeah, so like for me normally, it depends on what it is. This is when I was younger, okay? When I was younger, I would get really badly sick but recover very quickly. Now I get badly sick and I don't recover quickly. I've lost my ability to recover quickly. So like I had COVID. I want to say like maybe like 2 years ago now. And like it was not good. I was like hallucinating, like the bad period of it, which is meant to last like a day or two, it lasted like 3 or 4 days for me. And then like it just wouldn't go away for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. And I've had like a persistent issue ever since as well. So that's not good. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. You just get on with it, don't you? The real mind-boggling part is that you've never seen an immunologist over all that hyperallergic shenanigans. Okay, well, the thing is that my GP when I was younger would just be like, it's hormones in it. Like, and this isn't even the only thing that I went to them about when I was a teenager. And like, so I would say I went to them about 3 things, really. One of them was like, I was really, really struggling at school. And it was like really affecting my mental health. The second thing was the allergic stuff. And the third thing was something separate that I'm not going to talk about in detail yet, but I will one day. And all 3 of them, they were like, oh, it's hormones, you'll grow out of it. 2 out of those 3 things led to a pretty substantial diagnosis in my 20s. So, like, it turns out I was having bad mental health because it wasn't just because of hormones, it was because I'm autistic. I just genuinely didn't actually fit in at school. Wild. Wild, who would have guessed? And the other thing that I'm not talking about yet, it was a genetic condition that I've had my whole life. And nobody would listen. So yeah, that's the thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if I do also have some kind of immune system thing, but I've just never managed to get to see a doctor about it because every time I've been to the GP, they're either like, oh, it's hormones, isn't it? Or they're like, oh yeah, come back and see us next time. And then I can't book an appointment because health system, innit? So yeah. Plot twist, autism is caused by hormones. I feel like we actually still don't even know what autism is caused by apart from genetics in some way. Yeah. My dad is definitely the same as me. My dad is definitely the same. It runs in the family. Actually, to be fair, his dad is also the same as me. So it definitely runs in the family. Actually, I think also his sister is also very similar. So it really runs in the family. Yeah, exactly. The blood is thick, but actually it's just the autism. It's just the autism is thick. Yeah. But yes, that's my that's my wild lore reveal, is that I was allergic to showering for most of high school. I let me tell you, I abused my my perfume. Although I had to be really careful about which one I used, because surprise, surprise, I was allergic. So I'm not anymore though, so that's good. Now it's just like soap and tomatoes and aubergines and potatoes and cow's milk, and cleaning products, and certain types of pollen. So that's not as bad, not as bad. Hi, Katie Monk, welcome in. Looks in. Yeah, you're certainly looking in at something, I'm sorry. Welcome in, I hope you're good. You're not allergic, it's just hormones. Exactly, exactly, exactly. Next time, every time that I'm like complaining that I'm tired or anything, I'm just, from now on, it's just hormones, isn't it? It's just hormones. What's that? You're hungry? It's just hormones. That's actually true. Only thing I'm truly sure I'm allergic to is horsehair. That's such a specific thing. I don't think I've ever even interacted with a horse. How do you find that out? Hi, Astro. Popping back quickly. If up to on screen is red, 7.91 words per minute and 29% of remainder complete. That's not too bad, you know? That's okay. Okay, just because you've said that, let's get back into it. Let's do it. Okay. To be fair, it was the ad that threw me off, so yeah. I've no idea. I never asked. We just know it. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. I know that one of my parents has a lot of allergies too. I know that. Yeah. And is like, but like not as bad as I was. Not as bad as I even am now. So yeah. But that also runs in the family. I ain't allergic to anything, but I mean, I also don't make antibodies. A gamma globulin A gamma globulinema. I don't know what that is. Is that an immune condition? Don't make me Google it. I will Google it and then I will go down a rabbit hole and I will never stop. I have a question. Feel free to post your question. You have to go, no problem, Astro. Thank you for popping by and telling me off. At least every time I get 2 centimeters taller. Wait, at least I get 2 centimeters taller every time I get seriously sick? What? What's the context for that? I'm confused. You know how stress generally weakens the immune system? For some reason, it massively strengthens mine. Huh. That's interesting. I wonder if mine kind of does that. I know that something specific happens to me when I get stressed, but again, it's linked to the thing that I'm saving. I'm saving it because it's funny content. I need to be careful with my lore drops, right? I need to be careful with my lore drops. Breaking it down linguistically, it's no gamma globulin in the blood. Gamma globulin being a family of immune cells. I see. Okay, okay. Yeah, so that's like the opposite problem of what I have. That must be an experience to live with. I won't probe you any further, but if you're interested in sharing, you are welcome to. A child who is sick. Wait, a child who is sick, a disease who can't be cured. Should you say the truth or lie, or try to say that the child will be better? As in, like, should you lie to a child that they're terminally ill? That's a big moral question. That's a big moral question. Every time I get a flu or something like that, once I get better, I check my height and I grow 2 centimeters. That's so random. I wonder why. I wonder why. Huh. That is actually interesting. Hi, Panoramic Cheese! Just popped in to let you do the cheese thing. Thank you. Cheese. Sorry, I don't know what that actual gremlin laugh was. I apologize. Okay. We're going to go back to the paper now, I swear. Okay. How much of this is left, actually? Oh, no, we're super close, actually. I reckon we could speedrun this. Okay. Right. So they did their experiment. They got 90 participants from the university. They ran through the website. It either included the stuff, the principle of exposure. So I don't know if that's like the information thing or what. I don't know. The appendix isn't here. On average, it took them 19 minutes to complete, and they paid them €5. Okay. We applied one-way ANOVA to test the treatment and baseline groups. Homogeneity of variances were assessed using the Wien's test, which showed that equal variances could be assumed for autonomy and for relatedness. I'm not going to go into what that means. Basically, when you're applying statistical tests, you should have there are certain assumptions that your data needs to meet so that you can apply the test. And that's one of that. Like that's that basically. We won't go into it. That's if you've got questions, go and ask Mylin instead. Sneezing so hard it's straightening your scoliosis you didn't know you had. That's terrifying. You got this, thank you. The gremlin laugh is perfect. It's really something. It's definitely a thing. You're trying to read your scientific journal article and then you just like every time you get to the end of a paragraph you just hear an aggressive gremlin laugh. What do you do? I used to get my IgG by IV every month at the hospital in the pediatric it's that part of the stream. Pediatric, there we go, cancer ward, because that's where they kept the immune supplies. A couple of times people would come by and wish kids a speedy recovery, and bless their heart, me and my brother would just say, we won't. Oh no, that's awful. Sometimes we play on the Xbox with the kids. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, the other thing that I'm not dropping the law on yet is also a genetic condition. And every now and then people will say to me, oh, I hope you recover soon. And I have a similar response. I'm like, I won't. It's fine though. So I get that. I have a similar problem where I look at my fridge at night and hear the green goblin telling me to eat all the cheese. That's also me, actually. That's my other form. This is like my transformed form. That's my normal form. I'm actually just a goblin. Okay. My blood is trying to murder me. I love it when your body is just like, nah, I'm not gonna function in a basic way. I love that. That's so cool and funky. Okay. So the Levine test was fine. Graphical summary of the distribution can be found in the appendix. They're doing their assumptions. That's good. We love assumptions testing. 46 participants in the treatment group reported an average value of relatedness of 2.93. With a standard deviation of 0.99 and an average value for autonomy of 3.95 with a standard deviation of 0.80. The 34 participants in the baseline group reported an average value for relatedness of 2.51 and an average value of autonomy for 3.21. Okay. The effect of relatedness was significant and the effect of autonomy was also significant. Cool. Okay, that's it. I'm not gonna lie, normally I would report the significance and then I would report the means and stuff. That's a bit of a strange way around to do it. But that's fine. That's fine, you do you. Well, that's good that it had a significant effect. They haven't reported any effect sizes. Well, they've got the F values, obviously, but they haven't reported like effect sizes that would make it easier to assess that. But then to be fair, I'm not convinced that there's enough participants to really make anything useful out of that. Yeah. That's my thinking. I get better and I'm like, I literally can't. I know, right? If anything, this is as good as it gets. That's my thinking normally. Maybe one of those days viral therapy cures for genetic conditions will become standard. Yeah, I mean, it's already being used for hemophilia A? ? So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Thank you for the follow, Lord of Fire OG. Welcome in. Welcome in. My thinking is not thinking. That's such a mood. That's such a mood. That makes you an excellent research participant, and you've just signed the consent form, so that's good. Welcome in. I hope you're good. Yeah. Yeah, I think it does seem like they're starting to approve more of the viral therapy cures. Yeah, the viral what's the word? I've forgotten what they're called, but yeah, the ones where it's like viral gene editing loaded into a virus and then it reminds your body how to do the thing properly. Yeah. that that seems to be a thing that's going to be more common. But yeah, the fact that it's already being used for some stuff is very cool. Yeah. Thank you for the hydrate and the lab safety register check-in. Thank you. And thank you, Monty, also for the lab safety register check-in. I will have the rest of my tea. It's gone cold. It's gone cold, which is kind of sad. My thinker likes to randomly short circuit and blend together information from similar topics or time frames. That's kind of relatable. Mine does that too. Mine does that too. Thank you for the lab safety register check-in also, Alex. Thank you. We've got such a safe lab today. We're doing so good. We're doing so good. Oh no, the hydrate is uncapped. Yeah, it is. I could just keep drinking forever. Like a true Brit. It's tea though, so, you know. There we go, finished it. Cold tea is good but bad. Yeah, this is just bad because it was hot tea and now it's cold and I'm not happy. Ow, I meant to do that. Hydrate again, thank you. Well, joke's on you because I've also got water. And also I've got a painful throat, so this works quite well. Tea like a true Brit, exactly. I might have put something in the weird glass tube thing and it definitely didn't explode. Okay, that's fair. I've been there many times. I've been there so many times. We don't want to talk about what happened when I did my chemistry A level. We're not talking about that again. I'm not telling that story again. Okay. Right. So, field studies. Let's speed through the rest of this. Let's speed through it. Okay. The tube had a blast. Okay, in 2 field studies, citizens could use My Research Challenge to submit their individual challenges for 4 weeks. We provided 8 subtopics that they could choose for their challenge. During the participatory action, 2 researchers, 1 professor and 1 PhD student with a corresponding expertise were responsible for each subtopic. That's exciting. That's exciting. We love a challenge. Citizens could also browse existing challenges on the web application to get inspired by other challenges or discuss challenges with other citizens by adding comments. After the collection phase, the voting phase started for 1 week. In the voting phase, citizens could vote for challenges they found interesting or relevant and want to be further investigated by scientific researchers. Cool. Table 3 summarizes the results of the collected submissions of the 4 different subtopics. Where? Ah. Home office, sustainability. Okay, cool. I'm still at work, but you're in the discussion section. To be fair, this is the 2nd stream. Well, the 3rd stream, actually, technically, if we don't... Yesterday didn't count, right? Yesterday didn't count. Hopefully my condenser doesn't break in the move. Fragile glassware and all. Yeah, I would hope not. That's terrifying. I hope not. Still didn't get superpowers of whatever I ate from my chemistry class. But I shouldn't have. Public service announcement. Please follow OSHA guidelines. Okay. After finishing both phases, we analysed the system usage data. During the collection and voting phase, 1,444 citizens, wow, visited the publicly available web application, and 5,114 page loads were requested. Overall, citizens submitted 51 challenges with an average text length of 813 characters, 12 comments, and 117 likes on my research challenge. The average time spent on the website was 4 minutes and 8 seconds. Furthermore, we found evidence that the perceived relevance of the challenges provided by citizens increased over time based on the like counts. The first half of the submitted challenges in the collection phase received an average of 2.25 likes, and the second half received an average of 3.82 likes. The effect of the perceived relevance of the second half was significant, but very, very marginally so, to be honest. Very marginally so. Okie dokes. Regarding the different participation levels, we analysed the interaction with the CA, I forgot what the CA was, and provided details concerning the submitted challenges. 62.7% of the citizens answered all the additional questions by asking if... Oh yeah, the chat agent, I remember now, the AI. 62.7% answered all the questions by the AI related to the problem description conceptualization proposed by Medsha et al. 2019. The average text length for challenges providing answers for all questions was 1,034 characters. For other challenges, the average text length was 439 characters. Okay, interesting. Additionally, challenges where other citizens participated by adding comments received an average of 5 likes, and challenges without comments received an average of 1.7 likes. Therefore, the perceived importance is significantly higher. Cool. Which part of this is relevant, actually? This part, I think. This part? And then this part. Yes. During the voting phase, citizens would select... I know that I highlight a lot of it. Okay, don't judge. During the voting phase, citizens could select important topics they want to be further investigated by the corresponding experts. For instance, in the subtopic Physical Health and Activity of Home Office Challenges, the submission titled Lack of Commuting was rated the most important. Citizens reported that the lack of commuting is perceived as a challenge and leads to a reduction in physical activities. In a subtopic, Motivational Leadership, the challenge with the title Staying in Touch with Employees as a Manager was voted as the most relevant. Moreover, they reported that the lack of exchange leads to understanding, opinion forming, and cohesion issues in home office settings. Another example provided in the topic Collaboration Tools, citizens selected the challenge describing the lack of short, informal, and often spontaneous interactions as the most important. Brief exchanges among colleagues are perceived as an important part of everyday work and are often missing from home office environments. Okay. For each subtopic's most important challenge, groups of students designed prototypes in a design seminar. That's fun. We invited all participating citizens to the final presentation where the students presented their proposed designs and demonstrated the prototypes of them. Moreover, a short demonstration video of the prototype was created and made publicly available on YouTube for each solution. That's very fun. We love that. We love getting students involved in stuff like that. That's engaging. That's very cute. Okay. Hi, Curie. How you doing? Welcome in. A familiar presence indeed. It is going. We are reading the paper. We're nearly there. We're doing good. Not too bad, all is well. I'm glad to hear it. I'm very, very glad to hear it. Okay. Discussion. We're in the discussion. We're on the last bit, and I will finish this. How much longer before the defense? I actually don't know. I haven't heard anything about the date of the defense yet. Admittedly, I did get an email today that I haven't had the chance to reply to yet. So maybe I will have a defense date in the next week or so. Who knows? Not sure. We'll see. As long as there's not another distraction. Wait, what's that over there? Squirrel! Where? Oh, no. No, we're finishing it. We're so close. Okay. In this paper, we present design knowledge for the research problem exploration phase of scientific inquiry following an open science paradigm. Applying design science research as described by Kupla and Vaishnavi, we deliver design requirements, propose design features, and present a set of design principles for research problem exploration systems. Furthermore, we present a publicly available implementation of the system. The aim of the design system is to engage and involve citizens on a large scale in the problem exploration phase of scientific research processes. We provide a novel artifact that enables citizens to engage and collaborate in scientific research inquiry to understand citizens' needs and societal challenges. Focusing on the second design cycle, we instantiated the proposed design and evaluated the prototypical implementation by inviting citizens to participate. The results of the online experiment revealed evidence that our proposed design leads to more autonomy relatedness while using the system compared to the baseline, without the design features supporting the implementation of exposure and participation. Yeah, if we see other people doing stuff, we want to do it too, because that means it's probably fun. Furthermore, in the field studies, we collected 51 real-world challenges provided by citizens. The analysis of the system usage data showed evidence that the perceived importance of the submitted challenges increased over time and stimulated discussion among citizens. Our study contributes to the latest literature on open science rooted in different research fields and to recent calls for more openness in the field of information systems. Openness and transparency are the two main concepts of open science, supported by dimensions such as collaborative research. While these elements can be found in our conceptualization, we provide A, an alternative approach for research problem explorations, and B, design knowledge for research problem exploration systems. The design goal of our proposed artifact was not to entirely replace existing research methods applied by scientists to the problematization phase of scientific inquiry. Our proposed approach complements existing methods in opening the knowledge creation process, supporting the engagement of scientists in certain topics to reveal more insights from experts or interested citizens regarding certain problem spaces. Regarding the generalizability of the proposed solution, we suggest two future directions. First, we believe that the proposed design for open science systems can also be applied in other stages of scientific inquiry. Okay, interesting. In this study, we applied and evaluated the design of the problem exploration phase. However, citizens could also be involved in different phases of the research process, such as the design and evaluation phases. Cool. I agree. Second, the use of open science systems is not limited to the field of IS. Such systems can be applied across disciplines and enrich research processes in other domains. For example, in urban research, citizens' involvement and concerns are crucial to developing livable smart cities. Open science systems can support urban designers and increase engagement and involvement of citizens in city development on a large scale. The proposed design knowledge of this study is a first step towards open science systems in the field of information systems. Citizens are known to enrich research processes by providing valuable data. Research studies actively engage citizens for different purposes, from urban planning to environmental protection, and tasks from data collection to data analysis. In this paper, we present design knowledge for the broader class of citizen science systems. The proposed design principles and their instantiations illustrate how to design systems in order to engage citizens in a structured and systematic way for scientific inquiry on a large scale. The presented approach and design knowledge should guide other researchers and practitioners to open the research processes and connect with society. In order to ensure that the provided design knowledge can be applied in different contexts for the same class of problems, it is necessary to elaborate on the reusability of the design principles. One possible approach could be applying the reusability evaluation framework proposed by Ivari and colleagues, together with a group of selected designers of research process support systems. The reusability of the proposed design principles could be evaluated and further developed in future research. However, opening the research process and involving citizens can also be crucial, and the generated content needs to be curated. Online social media platforms are primarily targeted by bots. Bots are used to produce spam and disseminate false information on online social media sites. Moreover, enabling citizens to submit problem descriptions and the feature to discuss the descriptions can lead to conflicts between citizens. Researchers engaging citizens need to control the generated content, for instance, as gatekeepers to detect platform abuse and potential conflicts between the citizens. Okay. Yes. The class of systems described through our design principles reveals similarities to other types of systems, such as sense-making systems or open innovation systems. However, the applied concepts and the kernel theories are different. Sense-making systems aim to identify and define relevant problems and provide feasible solutions. And open innovation systems assess individual skills, expertise, and creativity to collect ideas and comment on others' ideas. The proposed system, I suppose their proposed system, aims to engage citizens in scientific inquiry by providing features derived from self-determination theory, supporting autonomy and relatedness in the problem exploration phase. Additionally, the system provides guidance in structuring the problem descriptions based on the conceptual problem space model proposed by Meisha et al., and to collect complete and precise problem descriptions. We believe I will finish this. We're so close. I'm finishing this and then I will look at chat. We believe that systems like the proposed My Research Challenge can serve researchers as an alternative to existing methods and techniques in the research problem exploration phase. Additionally, including citizens in collecting and discussing real-world challenges extends the borders of problem exploration spaces. Therefore, tools to support the open science approach by engaging and motivating citizens to collaborate. Did I really just shorten that to collab? Okay. To collaborate in scientific research projects is one step closer to closing the gap between scientific and public perspectives on real-world problems. This study comes with several limitations. First, the system lacks design. No, the system design lacks the scientific researchers' perspectives and needs. In this paper, we focus only on the citizen's perspective on research problem exploration systems. Second, the evaluation of the system in the field in 2 field studies included a small number of participants, and the evaluation was done by exploring problems and challenges regarding the Home Office topic. Importantly, boundary conditions are A, the domain regarding other problem spaces, and B, other fields with different participants and backgrounds. However, we used the prior theory as justificatory knowledge and the results of our evaluations, thus allowing for the generalizations of our findings. Moreover, we evaluated our design regarding the concepts and relatedness and autonomy as described by self-determination theory in an online experiment with paid participants. This allowed us to evaluate the system features in a controlled environment. However, the evaluation lacks a profound understanding of self-motivated citizens based on the proposed design in a naturalistic setting. Third, due to data protection and privacy issues, we were forced to enable anonymous participation in the online field studies. Therefore, we could not collect any demographic data and evaluate the external validity of the proposed design with a complete cross-section of society. Conclusions. Let's go. Open science is an important approach to make research and its findings more transparent and accessible. In this paper, we investigate how open science systems need to be designed to open the research process and engage citizens to participate in the problem exploration phase. We identified design requirements to motivate and involve citizens in a structured manner in scientific inquiry. We proposed a set of design principles instantiated and implemented in the form of design features that we revised through building and evaluating a prototypical implementation. The formulated design principles are not limited to research problem exploration systems. Still, they can be expected to be relevant in several settings where researchers are interested in collaborating with other scientists or non-scientists on a structured and large scale. The relevance of open science has increased over the last decades, and it is relevant in nearly every research field. Not only is open science supporting researchers to understand results better and, in the long run, improve research and science in general, but it also connects society with scientific research and can help address the societal challenges of our times. Whew. We did it! There was nothing additional in that discussion that I felt the urge to focus on, actually. There was nothing that I was like, I really need to highlight that. Yeah. Okay, I need to quickly have a drink. Wait. Well done. Thank you, Woodsticks. Thank you. Let's go. Okay. What did I miss? Kaimito, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Welcome to the I've been reading too much. Welcome to the participant pool. Apparently we have to first study why I can't speak. Question, have you used any root-ledge publications for research? Yeah, I think I might have also used it in both. I might have used it in both directions, like as a reader and a publisher. I can't remember. They're very good for textbooks in general, but their open access is a bit shaky from what I remember. Yeah. Hi, Battenbug. How are you doing? How are you doing? I'm confused. What are we doing? I'm also confused. This paper is basically detailing how they designed a citizen science platform. That's how I would describe it. So it's a way for people to go on the website and put in what they think scientists should be researching, and then maybe the scientists will do it. Yeah. Yeah. Uh Yeah, I had to go through the paper for work. That's the thing, yeah. So I needed to finish it before the end of the week. And I have now officially finished it. So I guess now we can actually talk about it if anyone has any opinions on it. Uh, to get people to be able to science, even though they're not a science person. Yeah, exactly. Or more specifically, getting them involved in like generating research questions. Like, because obviously, like research questions, you know, as a scientist, you kind of look for a bunch of sources, right? You know, you look at like the previous literature that's out there on the topic. Like, you go through all of the journal articles and have a look and see what what is out there already. But like a big part of it is also just observation, like observing the world around you. And if you can get a lot of people all observing the world around them and then putting into one database all of their ideas for things that we don't understand and we totally should, then in theory, that would be a good way for us to work out where we should be prioritizing our research. Now, obviously, it also depends on scientists actually being interested in the questions as well, and also funders being interested in the questions. But it's a pretty cool idea, you know? I think it's a pretty cool idea. Fuzzy questions for which data is collected via population surveys versus mechanistic questions for which data is collected by more specific experimental methods. I don't understand the question, Marlon, sorry. What's the context for the question? I might have missed it while I was just like power reading. I'm sorry. Also, hi, how are you doing? Welcome in. I'm not educated enough for this yet. Get Twitch chat to do science. I mean, you can be educated through Twitch, right? That's the plan. That's the plan, is that like hopefully by reading the papers, we all kind of learn something interesting from the papers, but also part of it is like I want to model the process of reading a paper, if that makes sense. So for people that haven't done it much yet, they can kind of see what kind of things they should be looking for, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes any sense. But like for me personally, like for example, if I want to learn how to draw, I watch someone else do it and then I do it. Or like if I wanted to learn how to play an instrument, I'd watch someone else do it and then I'd do it, you know? So it's like part observing and part practicing. But then like once you start doing it yourself and then you also watch someone else do, you can also kind of work out what things you might be not doing so great. So it's also partially that. I don't know. That's my thinking around it. I don't even know if I read papers properly though, if that makes sense. Like I just kind of do it. I was never really taught how. I just kind of started doing it. So I might even be doing it wrong. So if you have any feedback from me on how I read papers, please tell me. I'm going through old paperwork, most of it being homework from when I was still a student and much of it being a decade old, getting some laughs out of it. I still have all of the stuff from when I was in high school, like 15 years ago or something. So I get that. It seems like Psycom is an important pillar of this vision, as touched upon in the last stream. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm biased, right? I'm biased. I'm a science communicator, like, well, at least I try to be. I feel like I toe the line, you know? I toe the line. Like, part of what I do, I want it to be science communication, but I do also obviously just want to come on stream and have fun. I do a bit of both. And yeah. I think that part of it is definitely, you know, making information accessible, but it's also making scientists accessible. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like there's this theory in social psychology called like intergroup contact theory, and it basically, the core of the theory is basically like when you've got groups of people, there's a bit of a tendency to kind of be like us versus them, right? And we see that happening in society, even around scientists and academics and stuff. You know, there's loads of narratives around like, oh, they're just in their ivory towers. They don't ever talk to real people. They're weird. They're not like us. But like one of the things that I don't have any evidence for this. But like intergroup contact is basically this idea that if you have positive interactions between people in the groups, then they start to build like a bit more respect for each other, basically. They humanize each other a bit more. And then even better if you've got like a shared goal that they're both working together. So yeah, that's kind of like the core of my thinking, is that like if I am streaming on Twitch, then people can see that I am just a normal person, even though I'm also a scientist. I'm also just a normal person. I'm just a silly sausage that also happens to read papers sometimes. And that would hopefully in itself start to reduce a bit of negative feelings people have towards science and scientists. So that's my thing. That's why I do like a mixture of like science communication, like reading through papers and stuff like that, but also fun things and just like yapping and just community building and stuff. Because I think they're both equally important. Yeah. I don't know, that's how I think about it though. I'm basically just justifying myself yapping and never actually reading the paper. It's all just cognitive dissonance. Yeah. As for why I'm subjecting myself to the cringe of youth, making sure I don't throw out old art. That's smart. That's smart. I've got like a massive like sketchbook from my high school period somewhere, and I don't know where it is. Oh no, I don't know. I wish I had saved it, but I think I've got photos of everything, so. Do you think you'd use the platform that they've created? Maybe. I don't know if I would necessarily, because if I wanted to research something, I'd probably just do it. Or like I would tell people that I know to do it, if that makes sense. But that's like that's the privilege of being a scientist, is that if I'm like, oh, there's something weird, I can just go to someone that I know and be like, hey, look at this weird thing that I found. You should totally research it. And they're like, hey, that sounds good. And then they go and do it. And I'm like, yes, good. Answer my questions for me, minions. Excellent. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would, but I'm not really the target audience by the sound of it. As a researcher, I would probably consider it, but also like I'm not really that kind of researcher. Like I'm not an academic, so I'm not in the best place to be using it really. I have comics I made as a child and I cringe at them every time I read them. I have an entire set of lore around that. When I was younger, I used to, like when I was a little kid, I didn't really have any like friends. So I used to just make my own friends, and like to do that, I would just write books, basically. I would write entire like extended like cinematic universes. It was pretty intense. And like for some reason, it was all based around food as well. Don't know what that says about me. Some of it was food I couldn't even eat. Yeah. Might also point out places where existing research could use some advertising showing stuff was already solved. That's very true. Yeah, that's very true. Because if they were highlighting things that like there's already solutions for, both in terms of, well, in terms of research, if they're highlighting things that like, you know, we've already done like large scale replication studies and like we have a kind of idea of what we think it might be. Yeah, that could kind of help prioritize science communication, definitely. But then also like some of it was also around like could innovation come out of this too? And that I think is also a definite yes, probably, because like it almost acts as like a way for like advertisers to work out who needs their product but isn't using it yet, isn't aware of it yet. That could be a force for good or a force for evil, who knows? My question between fuzzy and mechanistic is like, there seems to be certain different kinds of questions asked in different disciplines, and each provides a different degree of understanding of the world. Yeah, definitely. I think that's definitely true. Yeah. I would say that's probably partially just field convention. Like sometimes a question can seem vague to somebody outside of the field, but like it's actually really precise to somebody in it, if that makes sense. Whereas other times it can seem like a question is really precise and it's actually really vague. And I see this all the time in psychology. I'll see like a research question that sounds like it's precise and it's actually really vague because they haven't defined things, or like the definitions vary across different papers, but they're comparing it anyway, stuff like that. So yeah. I don't know where the boundary is though, to be honest. I think the thing is that it very much varies depending on the study that you're doing. Because like if you're doing like an exploratory study, and you just want to, I don't know, just see what's going on, then you can have a vague question. That's fine. You can have a fuzzy question because you're literally saying, I don't know anything about this and I want to find out something. Whereas if you're doing confirmatory research, probably that would need to be more mechanistic, more precise. So yeah, I don't know if that kind of answers the question. It probably doesn't actually. But yeah, I would say experimental methods tend to be more, do tend to be more kind of specific because you're trying to control for a whole bunch of stuff. And yeah, the exploratory stuff would be more potentially sounding a bit vaguer. But I wouldn't say surveys specifically though, because surveys can be searching for something very, very specific. It just, again, it depends on the field. It's more like the intention behind it rather than the method used, if that makes sense. Yeah. I learn better after seeing someone doing it first and figure out how I should with myself. That is true. Yeah, I'm the same. I like to observe. Your peers in V-Theorem seem to be psychom orientated in general. Absolutely, yeah. And that's kind of the whole point, right? Actually, let me do the, there you go. There's the thing. That's kind of the whole point of V-Theorem is that we all do science communication, but we all kind of have our own approaches to it. It's quite fun, to be honest. And like, I feel like I learned so much by watching their streams. Obviously, like in terms of the science, that's obvious, but also just in terms of how they present it. Like, I feel like everybody's got a really distinct style to doing things. It's really cool. I love seeing that. I mean, like, obviously, like me and Mylan are like the most directly comparable, but I still feel like our styles of streaming or our styles of content in general feel very, very different. I don't know. It's cool. I really enjoy it. They're all good eggs. Using the connectiveness of the internet to connect with researchers. Yeah, exactly. That stream of Fire and the glioma research was really cool. Absolutely. There's so many opportunities for like bringing scientists onto stream in general. Because like a lot of the times if you ask a scientist, hey, do you want to come and talk about your research? They're like, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's my overwhelming experience anyway, is that especially like, I don't know, especially people that are like either grad students or they're kind of like postdocs sometimes are, but sometimes they're really busy. But like what we call like quote unquote mid-career, so like lecturer and senior lecturer in the UK and Ireland, or what's the equivalent elsewhere, like assistant and associate professor, they are also often very, very keen on it. When they get to full professor, they normally are a bit more selective about the types of science communication they're doing, but yeah. Trying to make a name for themselves. It's partially that. It might be partially that. Partially, I think it is genuine just enthusiasm to share what they're doing. Because, like, you know, you can't, it's really difficult to dedicate your whole life to researching a line of stuff if you don't actually care about it. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of the time they're genuinely just very enthusiastic to talk about it. And then sometimes it's also a case of like, there's like an external motivation to do it. So for example, in the UK, universities have this thing called REF, the Research Excellence Framework. And basically it's like a framework that they use to judge the quality of research, which sounds kind of sus, and it is kind of sus, to be honest. It's a bit weird. Sometimes in some ways it works well and in other ways it doesn't. But basically it like dictates how well the government thinks that the universities are doing their research. And one of the things that is looked at with that is actually like how much science communication was done in relation to like a paper or a research program. So for example, like, was this finding in the news a lot? That would be something that would come up on the ref and get bonus ref points. So for that reason, sometimes people are really, enthusiastic to come and talk about it as well. Do you want to talk about your research? Grabs you and whispers, you fool, you're trapped here with me. Genuinely. I mean, at this point, we've fairly established the second that somebody asks me a question about conspiracy theories, I'm just going off. Like, there is no coming back. the stream is derailed, I will talk for 2.5 hours and then go, oh, we never did insert thing that we're meant to do. So someone interested in your research is nice to hear. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's like a mutual thing, right? Like they get the nice, like for a scientist that doesn't. Okay, you got to bear in mind that a lot of academics are obviously like in a university. A lot of scientists work as academics in a university. And I got to say, like, as much as I love university students, they like it's quite difficult to get them engaged sometimes. So they're probably used to a situation where like if they've done an online class, they will ask a question and it is just dead silent for 30 seconds. And then they're like, fine, I will just say the answer. So having an experience where you go onto Twitch and you can see chat like actually responding and people asking questions and like commenting on what you're saying, that's quite a novel experience for a lot of researchers. And it's one that people are often actually like they can find it kind of scary because I've already spoken to a few people about potentially like coming on to talk at some point. And they do say sometimes like it's kind of scary, but also like it's quite exciting, isn't it? Like people actually listening to you and responding live. It's like when you're doing a talk and people are asking questions, except like not hostile. And I'm like, yeah, it's great. You should totally do it. So I think it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be more of a thing. Yeah. Adjacent to the notion of a special interest, perhaps. Yeah, it could well be. It could well be. I'm not gonna lie, my research is fully just my special interest. Like, I managed to get an entire PhD out of a special interest, so I'm not complaining. Risen with autism, exactly. Thank you for the follow, Stanley the Ninja. Welcome in. You are now a research participant, so I hope you are ready to take part in the research. Welcome in. I hope you're good. Same for me with 3D printing. That's so cool. I love that. I wish that I could do 3D printing, but I actually don't know like how to even get into it. I guess just buy a 3D printer, but there's no space for it. It seems so fun though. There's so many things that I'm like, I want to learn how to do that, and like 3D modeling and 3D printing. Those are some of them. It seems very fun. It'd be fun to have you bring some people on. I really want to. I have like, there's like 2 things that I have in my mind that I would love to do. The first one being like scientists, like bring on scientists who aren't necessarily VTubers or streamers or whatever, but they just think it would be fun and cool to just talk about their research for a while. And the other thing is that I want to do like collabs specifically with VTubers who have some kind of STEM background, but maybe don't normally talk about it. And like they're comfortable talking about what they do. Those 2 things I think would be very, very fun. I would love to do those things. But yeah, I've been, as you know, I've been in thesis. I've had thesis poo brain, so none of those things have happened yet, but they will eventually. I guess as an undergrad, it's a little hard to know the involved context, and one almost views what you're being taught as a checklist. That's very true, yeah. Undergrad syllabi, brilliant. Syllabi. Undergrad syllabi do kind of feel like that sometimes. And obviously that's because like we have to condense loads and loads of information down into a relatively short time frame, and then also make sure that we can somehow assess your knowledge on it down the road. So yeah. Yeah. It's not ideal, but you know, there's constraints you got to work within. Yeah. Well done for finishing your homework. Well done. Why not? I have a lot of free time. Let's go. Let's go. We love the enthusiasm. I'm not sure that was enthusiasm, but we love it anyway. Any participant is a good participant. A lot of libraries these days have 3D printer setups, also local worker spaces. That's so cool. I don't think that that's a thing here though, which is sad. I'll have a look, but I don't think that's a thing here. I have several questions and I never got the answer because I don't need them for GCSE science, but what about the lanthanidine? Wait. The what? Ah. Lanthanidine. Lanthanidine. That lanthanides. There we go. Got there eventually. Okay. Metals that are related to each other in how they behave. They turn into alkali metals. Oh, I've heard of ytterbium and thulium. I've heard of those two, I think. I haven't heard of the other ones though. Why have I specifically heard of ytterbium? That's a bit random. I don't know anything about these. I didn't do very good in chemistry. Just 3D print a shed to put the 3D printer in. That would be great if I had a, you know, place to put the shed. Oh no. I should look into it. It sounds fun. It sounds fun. I should do that. I finished. Yeah, that's right. I finished Astro. Take that. Take that. Why do I feel like this music's got some weird noises in it? I'm hearing something that's sounding weird. I'm confused. What? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, they feel an unusual orbital compared to the elements around them. That's so interesting. That's so interesting. I don't know anything about those. I did bad in chemistry. Hi, Lucky Luna. How you doing? It always felt weird to me that we pluck up the lanthanides from their place in the table and print them at the bottom. That's a bit random, isn't it? It's a bit weird. I guess if they behave differently than expected, then you kind of have to put them somewhere, right? They gotta go somewhere. Also, why did Wikipedia take me to simple English Wikipedia? Wow, it really thinks that I've got poo brain. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Or maybe it would make the table too horizontally long. That's also very true. It could be. The orbitals of the atoms are all spherical harmonics, which sounds kind of sci-fi, but it has to do with how a standing wave can fit on a sphere. I know nothing about this stuff. That's one of the things that I actually want to learn more about, actually, is, you know, fundamental science, you know, physical and physical, brilliant. Physics, there we go. Physics and chemistry. I feel like I don't know that much about them and I feel like I should know more about them. Yeah. Let's see. What's the plan? Right. I'm trying to work out what should happen next because I'm not gonna lie, I have work tomorrow. That's it. That's the whole statement. I've got work tomorrow. So sad. Imagine having work. That's so sad. What shall we do? What shall we do? I'm thinking out loud. I'm definitely not trying to process multiple sources of information at once and unable to process anything as a result. That would be silly. That would be silly, wouldn't it? What are we feeling? Do we want to... How do we feel about words on stream? Okay, here's what I think. I think let's go find another scientist. Let's go find another scientist. That's appropriate for today. That's appropriate for today. School for me? Yeah. Imagine having, like, life commitments. That's terrible. That's terrible. Have you read much into philosophy? I haven't read like loads and loads, sine wave mood. I haven't read loads, but I'm trying to get a bit more into like philosophy of science because I think that's very interesting. I've currently got a, I think I've said this like 3 times, but I've currently got like Structures by Thomas Kuhn sat on my bedside table. At some point, I'm actually going to read it. It's a library book, so I do actually need to read it. So yeah. Yeah. The study of semiotics, information representation, visualization, modeling seems really interesting to me. Is there a name for that as a formal discipline? Yeah, that sounds kind of like cognitive psychology to me. That sounds like cognitive psychology to me. I'm not 100% sure, but that sounds like it's down the cognitive psychologist's route. Hi, Denia. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're good. If we can turn kinetic energy into thermal energy, how hard do I have to punch a chicken for me to cook it? I love that video. That was so funny. That was certainly, yes. Do many small punches so that you don't burn it. Spread it out across the chicken. How many? It was slap though, wasn't it? Wasn't it slapping a chicken? I forgot who did it though. I love weird science projects, honestly. Like, they are my favorite thing. I want to work out a way for us all to be able to collectively do weird science projects together. That would be super fun. Okay. Okay. It is time to wrap up, I think. I have got work tomorrow. I have to work tomorrow, unfortunately. Yeah. Not sure if there's a more specific name for it, Marlon. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure. It's probably something in cognitive psychology though. So yeah, but that's a bit beyond my wheelhouse, but I want to learn more about that in the near future. So maybe I will be able to give you an answer in like 6 months' time. I need to go back from being like like knowing a lot about a very specific thing to like knowing a bit more about a bit more stuff ideally. Yeah. Yeah. The new Dren to the concept of Mythbusters, genuinely actually, that'd be so fun. I made boric acid in my shed to fireproof candle wicks relative to an approximate burn time. That's extremely fun. I love that. Please make sure you're being safe when you do your weird experiments, though. Okay. So, here you go. Here's the raid messages. Here's the raid messages. Here is the raid messages. Today, we're going to go and raid into Draw Curiosity. Dr. Inyas Dawson, who is also a scientist. Wild. And also does science communication. I think that, yeah, I earned a PhD in insect flight biomechanics from Oxford. So yeah, we're going to go and say hi. I think that's cool and fun. I think Words on Stream is currently being played. So if you like Words on Stream, that's cool. And also, Woodsticks, I think I saw you say, is the Gorilla Stream thing continuing? Yes. To be honest, that's probably just going to be my forever schedule, is no schedule, because it works pretty well for me. And I have to do a lot of traveling and stuff. So, you know, like conferences and things like that. So I prefer to keep it Gorilla in general, to be honest. It just makes more sense. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe one day in the far future I will actually have a normal schedule, but it ain't gonna be anytime soon, to be honest. I am far too chaotic in general. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, if you didn't know, I'll show this very quickly. Very, very quickly. It's still the Bombay mix picture. I don't want to show that. I want to show this. 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 There you go. Wait. 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 Patience. There we go. This is what I'm going to show. I'm in the way. This is what I'm showing you. If you didn't know, something's happening on the 15th of March. Something's happening. What could it possibly be? What could it possibly be? Who knows? Who knows? I'm not sure what that could possibly be. I've never seen a VTuber do a silhouette ever before. This definitely isn't something that some of you have already seen in a lot of explicit detail. So yeah, that's a thing. This is a thing that we're gonna be doing. A scheduled stream, I know, wow. Yeah, so collabs and events, those are the things that will be scheduled, and I will give advance notice for those. But aside from that, yeah, it's just gonna be whenever. I just yap when the yap happens, you know? It, like, you cannot predict the yap. It's a rocket, I'm pretty sure it's a rocket. It's true. It's so true. Oh, that's it. You've spoiled it. How could you do this? Why would you spoil it for everyone? Oh my gosh. I definitely haven't already seen this for 6 hours. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You can stay blissfully unaware. That's good. That's good. There are hints though. There's hints around. The thing is though, is that when I do hints for stuff, I do it in a really like weird esoteric way, and then I like other people don't understand. And then afterwards they're like, oh, I understand now. So you'll understand eventually. I know a few people have got it. Yeah. I'll put that away now. Okay, we're gonna go and raid into there's the thing again. There's the thing again. Wait, what is this? Wait, let me show you it again. There you go. Very quickly. Very quickly. There you go. That's the thing. That's the thing. This is the thing. A thing is happening, not this weekend, but next weekend. It cute? Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't know. It's a rocket, apparently. That's what Hosmod said. And what he says is true. So it must be. It's even cuter than the outline. I personally agree. I'm very, very excited about this. This is something that I've been hinting that I've wanted for a very, very long time in kind of two distinct ways, you know? I've been saying for a long time that I love anime, but what if there was more to life than just anime? You know, I think I've been saying that for like the whole time I've been streaming. And there's something else that I've been saying the whole stream. Ever since I started, all of it, you know? So, yeah. There's things happening. There is, it's called science. So true. So true. More to life than anime. Can you believe it? I know. Waiting for a VTuber to do that and it's just a shadow person. Oh, can you imagine? That would actually be very funny. That would be very funny. Oh, potatoes. Exactly. Exactly. Well, I mean, you say potatoes, but also beans, right? Also beans. My beans. That in itself was a hint, and nobody's going to understand what that was unless you already know. So, yeah, anyway. Moving on. Yeah, we're going to go raid now, actually. Third time lucky. We're going to go raid now. So thank you so much for joining me. I don't know when the next stream will be. It will be whenever I feel like it and whenever I have the time. I will see you then, hopefully. If you don't already follow, also, GZ Adrian, thank you for the follow. But if you don't already follow, now's the time to do it because it's entirely dependent on that to see when I'm live. So, yeah. Also, hi Bippy, how you doing? I hope you're good. Yeah, Rocket Raid, exactly. So, yeah, we're gonna go raid into Draw Curiosity, another science communication streamer. We love that. And yeah, I hope you all have a good, wonderful rest of your time. Day, evening, morning, no time zone because you actually live in Mars. Whatever it is, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a good one. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, don't know when the next stream will be. Might be tomorrow, might be in a week. Who knows? We'll see how I feel. Otherwise, I will see you next time, potentially, I guess. And I'm gonna sit here and just celebrate for ages that we actually read the paper today. I'm super, super happy about that. I'm genuinely so happy about that. So yeah. Let's go! Let's go! Okay, we're gonna actually go now. Otherwise, I'm just gonna sit here and just be like awkward all the way through. Okay, bye! Thank you, everybody! Bye!